Welcome back to the Night Report podcast. Joining me this week is Richie Schneiderite, the publisher at nightreport.com. Chris isn't joining us today. Richie, it's been another interesting week in Rutgers sports. The basketball team getting dominated by Illinois on Friday. The soccer team losing in a heartbreaker in the College Cup. How you doing?
I'm fine. I mean, I'm doing well. Rutgers, not so much. I got to give a quick shout out to Chris. He's on his honeymoon. He's going up and down the coast of California. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I think he's actually going to a Phoenix Suns game, if I recall correctly. So, I mean,
I do remember him mentioning that because
he was
we were talking bowl stuff. Yeah.
The bowl and the bowl that didn't happen. And here we are. It was it was pretty ugly couple 7 days, I guess it was, since we last recorded. It wasn't pretty. Rutgers women's soccer, hell of a season, Final Four, but Florida State just was obviously the better team, it looked like. I didn't watch the entire thing, so I can't speak for certain of like what happened in the end, but it wasn't pretty. A loss is a loss. Basketball, yikes. What the hell? What the hell happened?
I know. I think we're all riding pretty high after that Clemson win. They had looked the best they had all season, and then they go to Champaign, and there was basically no point in that point of that game where it was close.
Yeah, no, I don't even know how to explain that one. That was just absolutely brutal. Jaden Jones led the team in scoring. I guess that's a plus, but he also, I think, led the team in shots. So it's like plus and minus type thing. Cliff didn't look the worst, didn't rebound too well though. Caleb struggled. Ron really struggled, 1 and 9.
Yeah.
Mulcahy, I think I said this before. Stop shooting, please, for the love of God. I don't know. It just it was such a bad game. I don't even know where you start in that one. I mean, I didn't out of everyone that I expected to cook Rutgers, I didn't see Plummer being the one that was going to cook them. I saw obviously Curbella wasn't there. Coleman Hawkins, former Rutgers target, I thought he was going to cook a little more. Still had 9 points and 4 of 8, pretty solid. Kofi Cockburn is probably one of the best centers in the nation, despite him not being an NBA type body or NBA type center. He had 15 rebounds in that game. I think he just had 20 yesterday against someone else, and I think that was his like all-time record at Illinois for a single game.
Wow.
Yeah, he's putting up crazy numbers. I don't know. This team's got to do something. Pike admitted today that they, in the press conference right before this, he admitted that they were planning to redshirt Jalen Miller, which I don't get. I really don't get, especially when you're struggling at the guard position. I said this last week, and I've noticed it more and more. The minute like a younger player messes up, like a ticky-tacky foul or just turnover, Brandon Knight, who's in charge of the rotations, you see him call him out, get out of the game. And it's like, come on, like
that's going to destroy people's confidence too. That puts so much pressure on them to perform. They can't play loose when they're just worried about making a single mistake.
Yeah, you're nervous about taking a stupid shot, and it'll go in, and you'll be like, "Oh nope, get out, fuck you!" Like you're done. And it's like, I get you can't trust freshmen technically in the Big Ten, but Jalen Miller and Jaden Jones, these might be your best options at the one. And I do think Paul has to stop playing the one as well. I think he's got to play more. I don't even know where you put Paul. He's like a very nitty gritty player. He's a good player, but he's just got to be moved around. I don't think he can take the ball up anymore. Like I said before, it slows down everything, and I hate that with this team, especially because they're struggling on offense. Someone brought it up in one of the threads, maybe play more zone to try to get Cliff out of foul trouble or keep Cliff out of foul trouble. It's not the worst idea because you have a lot of length, and you have a couple quicker guys that could play at 3 and 4 and are down low on the boxes or can't even talk at the corners. So it could help a little bit, but there's so many things wrong with this team right now, and confidence is probably issue number one. And until they fix that, this isn't going to go anywhere.
Sure. The thing I thought was the strangest about this game is they went 7 for 17 behind the arc, which is 41%, which is great, especially for Rutgers. But then inside the paint, they shot fucking 14 for 51, which is 27%. They have a really hard time finishing around the hoop, which is that's like a fundamental part of basketball. Like if you can't hit a layup in traffic, or you can't hit, a 7-foot shot in the paint, like I don't really know what we can do to improve that. That's very basic stuff.
Stupid fucking shots. Like I get it. Like you're not cutting perfectly, or no one's cutting. I mean, no one's cutting, actually, I should say.
Yeah.
They're not getting open looks. They're just taking like long twos and contested threes. And it's like, what the hell is going on here? And it's just, I don't know. It's the lowest percentage shot is anywhere in that mid-range section. Stop taking them. Just please, like anything. Go up and try to drive. Draw a foul.
Yeah, they only had 4 free throws at Illinois.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, draw a foul, number one. I mean, they're not good at free throw shooting, but at least you get a better chance, uncontested shot in the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, they have improved a little bit at the free throw line this year. They're basically the same, but it's not as big of an Achilles heel as it was last year. Like literally, free throw shooting was the sole cause of probably 4 or 5 losses last year.
Yeah, probably give or take.
This year, it's just another symptom in the sickness that we have on the basketball team. I mean, I hate to sound too down on them, because I do believe that they can turn this around. Like they have, let me rephrase that. They have the talent to turn this around. Will they turn it around? I don't know.
Yeah,
but they do have the ability to.
The issue is that you have such a hard schedule coming up too. You're welcoming the number 1 team in the country to the rack this Thursday. Yes, the atmosphere is going to help you a little bit. The home court advantage is going to be there, but you're still playing a team that's averaging 90 points per game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to stop them.
Holy shit. The more and more I look at it, and like Pike mentioned today too, he's like, yeah, maybe their top scorer, Jaden Ivey, like Jalen Miller could handle him if he had to. And I'm like, this is the same kid you were just redshirting like 2 days ago. And I like Jalen. I like Jalen Miller a lot. I think he's going to be good. I think Jaden Jones is going to be really good. It's just a matter of like, just play these guys. Let them play. Don't yank them. Maybe don't be a little more lenient with the rotations, or just, I don't even know what you do at this point. If nothing's falling, someone's got to step up, and it's just not happening so far. Maybe the lack of Gio hurts a little more too, because he usually is that guy that could step up at times, but I don't know, with him out, and it seems like he's going to be out Thursday as well. Sunday, we don't know yet. And then that's the other thing. You're playing Seton Hall on Sunday. Number 23 Seton Hall.
And Pike let out today that the team is dealing with a flu bug, and it's gone through the team the past week, and apparently it's hitting the team pretty hard right now. So
yeah,
never a good sign before a big game.
He said 3 people had it the other day. 1 person new came in with it today, and whoever that new person is, I would assume is probably out Thursday. That's just a guess. The other 3, you probably think, based on the timeline, the other day is meaning 2 days ago at the minimum. So they'll probably be healthy for Thursday. 100%, probably not. But if you need your guys to play, what are you going to play without, like, Caleb, without, just hypothetically, this is just a guess on who might have it. Just if you're not playing without Caleb, you're playing without Jaden Jones or Matt Mag, then you're down to who you putting in? Palmquist? Reaver?
If we got to play those 2 guys against the Purdue's starting lineup, that's going to be
the Purdue lineup that, by the way, features a 7'4" big man.
Yeah, just total crow mag at center. Is that the guy that Jacob Young dunked on?
No, I thought it was too. It actually isn't.
They just sprout up those 7'2" plus white dudes, and
I'm pretty sure Jacob
West
Young
Lafayette
dunked on Matt Harms, right? If I recall correctly, sure. I might be wrong, but yeah, Zach Edey is the new one, a new big man they have. He's 7'4", 295. Like he's not like skinny either for a big man. Some of these big men that come in now are like rail thin, and
like Chet Holmgren.
But that's a different story. Okay,
I know it's a different story, but that's who first comes to mind as like a 7+ footer who's just rail thin.
Yeah, no, he's something else. He can dribble the ball up the court, and
dude, he's like white KD, only taller.
Yeah,
that's the comparison I have for him.
I actually talked to someone that was talking to Miles the other day.
Oh yeah,
word of mouth, and Miles was basically talking about Gonzaga when they played him. And it was like, yeah, it's your team. He's not that good. Like, he's okay. Like, he's solid. But that kid, Holgram, holy shit. He's like rail thin, but he'll dribble, he'll shoot, he'll do this, he'll do that. Like, he's not afraid of anything. Like,
dude, I feel so bad for Miles. There was a back-to-back plays.
I know.
Miles gets blocked by Holmgren. Holmgren takes the ball up the court. Miles, for some reason, picks him up at half court.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do like a hard crossover. He just like,
he's too big.
I know, but he just crosses Miles over, and like Miles can't even, he's like 2 steps behind him at this point, and then he just dunks on the team. It was an awesome play, but it was a shame that Miles is on the bad receiving end of both of the moves by him.
He's so good, but This game Thursday is going to be interesting. And then we didn't really talk about it yet, but Sunday, we'll get more into it later with Pat, but Sunday, Rutgers Seton Hall at Prudential Center. I don't know.
That's going to be a tough game too. And we're going to talk more about that game later. Like Richie said, there's an awesome event that the front office is hosting on Friday in Nutley, New Jersey at Mama Trattoria. There's still tickets available. We're going to link it in the bio, but I do want to talk about a few other things before we get into the interview with Pat.
All right.
National Signing Day is coming up. The football season's over. Signing Day is only a week away. Crazy how, the rework schedule kind of puts that front and center. I just kind of want to talk about your feelings on the class first.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Rutgers did in the high school ranks this year recruiting?
It's top 25 right now. Pretty damn good. I don't think there's any complaints. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of optimism when they landed 4-star, 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 4-star. I think 6 or 7 if you count Gavin Wimsatt, who enrolled early. Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot of optimism that this class would be like guaranteed top 25, and Wimsatt enrolling puts him back to the 2021 class. So that hurt. They suffered a decommitment in probably a future 4-star, which we're actually updating our rankings this week. I think he should be a 4-star. If not, I'm going to probably argue that one. But Davison Ignosin should be a 4-star. He was in the class. He's probably gone, in my opinion. He's going to, or he went to Kentucky this past weekend. Lane Kiffin, Marquise Watson, and Chris Partridge were all in Union last night, meeting with Ignosin and his family for their in-home. He's going to hit up Ole Miss this weekend. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't go there at this point. He loves his school, loves the staff, loves the atmosphere. And I kind of get it. Like, those two New Jersey guys in Watson and Partridge are ace recruiters. I mean, this is now the second time. Watson's not a full-time staff member, mind you. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the second time where they had an open spot due to a guy leaving, and Watson has stepped up as that 10th assistant. So he's loved down there. While he might not be a full-time assistant, he kind of is a little bit, so to speak. And anytime they have that opening, he's going to keep getting promoted. I think he's next in line for that D-line coach spot. I don't know who their current D-line coach is, but if he was to ever leave, I do think he takes that spot. And those two have become like a package, basically, between Partridge and Watson. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they keep hitting New Jersey. But I know they're Dear Mitchell is very high on them as well in 2023. So it's going to be a tough pull for him. He's best friends with Taiwan Malone, kind of looks up to him as an older brother type too. So it could be back-to-back, arguably the top prospect in New Jersey heading to Ole Miss.
So I do want to talk a little bit about Davison. Mm-hmm. What changed in the last week or two with him? Because I know there was a lot of optimism about him landing back at Rutgers, and then it kind of flipped very quickly back to Ole Miss.
There was definitely optimism a little bit just because he visited Rutgers for the last game of the season against Maryland. And there was a little bit of hype. His brother's here. They haven't. When's the last time Rutgers lost a Union kid? I
really can't remember.
Like the Tverdovs have been here. Amir Robinson, Desmond Igmanosin, now Davison. So it's tough. Like, looking back, I don't know the last time an actual Union kid went anywhere else and had a Rutgers offer, I should say. There was a feeling that he might go back and play with his brother, but at the end of the day, Ole Miss has been in his ear, even like the day he was about to commit, like verbally with in his backyard with the whole like setup and everything in summer. He was very, very close to like picking Ole Miss in the end too. They were in his ear nonstop. Lane Kiffin is Lane Kiffin. He's one of the best recruiters around. The SEC draw is always going to draw some of the top prospects in this area and actually around the country. And at the end of the day, like I said, the New Jersey connection between Watson and Partridge, those guys know how to recruit. And that's like their specialty. Partridge, he's phenomenal. He's like the Fran Brown of North Jersey type area. Watson's right there too in New Jersey. They both have New Jersey ties from playing high school, coaching high school.
Partridge was basically solely responsible for 2 first-round picks going to Michigan out of New Jersey.
Yeah, and he's also the big reason why Paramus Catholic was as good as they were for like 3 years.
2 years.
Done. And now look at it. It's like, all right, well, shit, like. Yeah, so I mean, Ole Miss is going to be a pain in their side as long as Partridge and Watson are down there. Now, can you try to convince them to come on the staff? It's going to be insanely hard because Partridge, I think, already makes like $750,000, $800K, which is already more than the DC that Rutgers DC makes currently. So then you got to factor in the the salary differences, taxes, and it's like, all right, why would he come here for anything less than $1 million?
And they're also, they were in the top 10 this year. They're going to be a really nice landing spot for transfer guys.
As long as Kiffin's there, they'll be top 25 every year. His offense is too phenomenal. He knows how to scheme it up. He's a very good recruiter. He's going to get top talent at Ole Miss. And honestly, at the end of the day, the more and more I talk to people, that Rebel Grove type area, like that sells itself. It's one of the best atmospheres in college football for tailgating and stuff. So
I've heard great things. That's kind of a bucket list item of mine, is to just take like a season and go to like different tailgates across the SEC and the Big Ten. I think that'd be awesome.
I've only been SEC wise. I've only been to Bama, and that thing's next level. Like it's insane. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an NFL atmosphere, but like parties everywhere.
That's awesome.
It was fun. I'll admit that.
So for this class, do you think there's a potential for any flips Rutgers way or against Rutgers in the next week?
So, I mean, obviously, it's pretty well known that Penn State's been recruiting Moses Walker, even despite him kind of throwing some shade at them with his commitment video. They've been on him nonstop. I don't think he flips at all. I think he's pretty solid. Loves Rutgers. The E-Hall staff is in love with Rutgers staff. They are hand in hand with each other. If an E-Hall kid doesn't have like an Ohio State or something, I could never see him picking Rutgers or picking I don't know, Penn State or Maryland over Rutgers at the end of the day. If Rutgers wants a kid out of there, there's a very good shot they get him, minus if Bama or Ohio State come in.
And they have a fuck ton of talent in the next few years too, so that's awesome to hear.
Caden Brown's a really good one. It's going to be tough to hold him away from Ohio States and like the Alabamas of the world, but he will be a top-tier recruit in that 2024 class. Other than that, flip-wise, the more and more I look at it, LaQuint Allen, they've been pursuing a running back out of Syracuse. He's actually just named New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year, so he's one to watch.
Wow. Yeah, Millville just won a state title, didn't they?
Yeah, so they just won it at Rutgers. So technically he was at Rutgers, so to speak. And every single coach was in the stands for these games. Except one.
Except? Which one wasn't there?
I didn't see Rob Smith in any of the photos. I saw.
I'm crying so hard. You can't see it on the pod, but I'm welling up with tears right now.
I've seen every single person in the photos, and the only person I didn't see was Rob Smith. And it was interesting because but then like a couple days before that, like the more and more I look into it, the couple days before that, Rob Smith went out and saw Phil Picciotti, a 2023 kid.
He just got 4-star status.
Yeah, I hate to say it, he's probably all but Penn State bound at this point, but yeah. Nice. What are you gonna do? But it's interesting because he was I would assume he was there, you would think, if he was on the staff. But every other assistant was there. Augie, Nuns, Gleason, Underwood, Shiano.
Yeah, they had a ton of pictures with Thomas Anankwa, I want to say. He took a picture with the whole staff, and Rob Smith definitely wasn't in that picture. I remember now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, all right, like if the whole staff's there, where's Rob Smith? And I don't know his exact contract. I was actually requesting contracts before. And the more and more I look into it, like Andy Ulrich technically has till February 20-something, 28th. I forget what it is. I had it pulled up too. But he has till like the 28th. The rest are all like January 5th for Augie. So there's plenty of time for these guys to like re-sign. It's not like actually February 28th for Augie. Actually, Augie's under contract till 2023. I've just read this now. So he's good. The more and more I'm trying to figure out more and more info on who's up contract wise and who's next and all that stuff. But it's I do think most of the staff stays put. I'm minus Fran, who could leave for Temple if they offer him, but I'm hearing that Temple's kind of like he's one of 3 targets they're looking at, and he's like 3rd place right now.
Who are the other 2?
I can't say, so to speak.
That's fine.
Yeah, the guys I talked to kind of just revealed that one. The guys I talked to
no worries.
They don't want it out there, so but it's interesting. I know Elijah Robinson's still pitching himself for that one. That's another name to watch. Al Golden's not really interested from what I was told. He said he said he would talk to them, but it's like no one wants to deal with the hassle of recruiting, especially in the portal and all that shit. It's like it's a pain in the ass. There's one guy, I forget his name, from the Panthers. that they were looking at.
Oh, the running back coach. I remember reading this.
Is that his name? Or is he the running backs coach or something? I forget what he is. Whatever he is, he's one that they were looking at heavily. One name I found interesting. Someone mentioned Justin Fuente.
Where's he? Oh, he just got fired, didn't he?
He got fired, but it's not like he has a connection to the area at all. So that's another. It's like, hey, it's Steve Rod Carey again. But
is it Jeff Nixon that you were talking about?
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Okay, so yeah,
that sounds familiar.
I think he's the running backs coach with Carolina. He was also on the staff with Rhule at Baylor.
There's a couple Rhule guys I know that were interested. I don't know how serious they were or are, whatever. They have a pretty big list for Temple, more than you think. Josh Gaddis was one I saw. Partridge was mentioned. Elijah Robinson, like it's a stepping stone job. So they're all just looking at it like, hey, go there for 2 years, 3 years, succeed, next. But
that makes sense. I mean, that's been the long history of Temple recently, is just moving on up.
Doesn't sound like Fran's going to be there, though, knock on wood. But, I mean, if the first two strike out, he's your third candidate. It's kind of like, all right, come on, let's do this.
I mean, at what point does Fran just kind of get fed up with Temple, though? Just not like he wasn't considered in either of the previous hires when they hired Manny Diaz and then had to quickly hire Rod Carey after Diaz backed out. Yeah. Like he's not being treated seriously now. Like, I don't know.
It's interesting. I really don't know. It's a new admin, so maybe you're just kind of like, all right, new admin, I'll give him another shot, see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see Fran going really anywhere unless it's Temple. I think he probably stays put at this point, but again, who knows? Maybe they strike out with those other guys and we're back to Rutgers looking for a DB coach.
All right, so it's looking pretty good right now for Fran to stick around, which obviously would be huge for recruiting moving forward and also retaining our current roster. So good news there. Did want to kind of touch on the transfer portal. We had 3 transfer visits this past weekend. 2 for officials, right? And 1 unofficial?
They're technically all official, so to speak. It's just, I don't know how it's considered because they don't do the same things that all the kids do. So like Colby Reeder, for example, the Delaware linebacker, came for a visit, but he told me, he's like, I'm not going there for all this mumbo jumbo. I'm going there to talk to the staff, meet them, check out the facilities, check out the weight room, all this stuff. I'm not going there to do like the New York trip and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Willie Taylor, who's from, I don't even know where he's from, actually.
Willie Tyler's from Racine, Wisconsin.
Okay. Oh, that's what it was. He's from Wisconsin, but played in Texas and then went to somewhere else.
He's been to 2 junior colleges. He's been to 3 Division I programs, if you count Syracuse. And this will be his 4th.
Welcome to the transfer portal.
Actually, no, sorry. This is his 2nd because he went to Texas.
You
and then he committed to Syracuse. I don't know if actually he made it to Syracuse, which was shocking to me. They re-offered the kid like right away. And then he went to ULM.
Yeah. But he's one that he's like, all right, I'm going to go do the New York thing. Like, that's cool. I've never done that. Like, yeah, I get that. But I'm assuming Reeder's been there before. I just didn't care enough. He visited. He's pretty high on Rutgers. I'm hearing Iowa State's going to be a pain in their side a little bit. He's supposed to visit there this weekend. He was supposed to talk with him again tonight. He's thinking about doing a midweek visit. I know we just got Maryland, who's kind of local, might play a factor there. Who's the other
Kansas State too.
Kansas State, yeah, I don't think they're that much of a factor though. They kind of, I don't know. They just have zero appeal to me.
Yeah, they've got. I think those were like the 4 biggest offers he got. So I'd imagine those are the 4 he's considering.
Yeah. So then the other guy that visited was Miles Frazier. I don't know if you guys see this on Twitter. If you follow him on social media, he's got every coach in the country basically visiting him in South Jersey.
I've never seen anything like this for a transfer guy.
It's pretty wild because he has 3 years. It's like, all right, shit, like maybe we get him here. The thinking is, from what I was told, is that he's looking for a school that can get him to the league. So where else are you going to, if you're that good of a lineman, where are you going to go and get in the league within 2 years? Probably SEC, maybe like a Miami, maybe a Florida State, or one of the big names down south that everyone pays attention to. So that's what I'm hearing right now in terms of him. He was supposed to visit North Carolina A&T in the next couple of days for his brother's graduation. His brother's also in the portal. as a grad.
His brother's a tight end.
Yeah, I don't know how good he is. I haven't really looked. And then North Carolina A&T is not like the best in the world.
So I did. He's not great. I think he's obviously playing in a pretty bad division. I think I don't even know what conference it is. It's FCS, but his grades on PFF were like in the 50s or 60s. If you're in the 50s or 60s, so his grade this year was 59.9. Last year he put up this is the only year he's been graded, and that's only on 20 steps, so that's not really that fair.
Yeah. And then there who else was Curtis Dunlap down in Minnesota. He visited the weekend before against Maryland. I'm told the staff's really not that interested in him. They worked him out. He's not good, I guess, if you want to put it like that. But yeah, he's not the best in the world. He's struggled a little bit in terms of movement and footwork and stuff like that. And they're just not a fan. It doesn't sound like they're going to take him anymore or take him at all.
Well, they didn't offer him, so that should be a sign.
It kind of says everything. I don't know where he's going to end up. I know he wanted to go closer to Florida, back home. I would assume like maybe an FAU type situation. Not FIU, because FIU's guys are all transferring. They're all gone.
Yeah, dude, I can't. FIU, how does a fucking 1-11 team who is like in a bad conference, they have almost everyone transfer out, like their whole offensive line transferred out, and all of them
one's
have
on
D1 offers.
Visit. One's getting SEC offers. One just got a G5 offer from UNLV. Then their wide receiver has about 7 or 8 Power 5 offers. And
their receiver's legit though. That guy.
So did Butch Davis just suck as a head coach, or like?
I mean, I don't know if you read any of the stories about like how much that administration just like abandoned the team. Like they were using literally, like they needed like new equipment and they didn't have the money for it.
I did read that UAB or someone gave it to him or something.
It was Mississippi State's old pads. So Mississippi State used the same pads for like 5 years, and then they changed them out and they gave them to FIU. And so FIU's using like 15-year-old pads.
But I don't even know if I don't blame the coaches. I more or less blame the admin for not like taking care of your team. Like remember when Shiano came in and he walked in and he was like, "Holy shit, this is where you guys keep your like." Maybe it was Shiano or was it Ash? One of them came in and walked into like the practice field, whatever you want to call it, before it was a facility. And he walked in and he looked at one of the shipping containers, like, "What's in there?" They open it up and it's just like tickets and pads and this. Like, what the? This is what you guys do?
Yeah,
and it goes back to show you, like the admins, like you need the admin to like actually invest in programs in order for them to succeed.
Sure.
And that's why Rutgers needs to figure out this fucking practice facility, this indoor thing, so you can get it done and over with.
Is the main thing holding that up obviously money, I assume?
That's what it sounds like. Between the whole COVID thing kind of threw everything for a loop in terms of donations and stuff. Rutgers obviously, I think, lost money in the long run. I think every school did.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like, all right, let's just push it back a year. I got to reread Shiano's contract and figure out what the timeline is for that, because now you got 2 timelines, Pat. You got the timeline for, you got to renovate the rack according to Jersey Mike's contract, or do something with it. And then on top of that, you got to build this practice facility. Shiano's going to fucking rip you a new one or figure out something. He'll take over as AD or something. He's pissed. Like I'm sure he's not happy about it. I'll tell you that much. Like this was supposed to be at least in a little bit of process, maybe not shovels in the ground type shit, but like
or at least the design that they can show people.
Should be out there and start fielding fundraisers. He'll fundraise that 50% like that. I think it's the school's 50% that they're not fundraising or not putting up at least. So
well, that's a shame.
It'll happen.
Hopefully we get some designs, because I know, I mean, if you could show something to a recruit who's coming there, who's just been at Penn State, who's just been at Michigan, who's just been at Ohio State, who's just been at Auburn, and seen what they have, it's one thing for it not to be there, but it's another for it not to like even be in discussion, which is what it feels like. Until you actually have some plans, it's not really a thing.
So Greg's been here for 2 years, right? This is my thinking.
Yeah, 2 years, literally almost to the day, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to nitpick and compare and all that, but he's been here for 2 years. Not a single fucking thing was said about this facility since day one when he signed. Now, Franklin has been negotiating a contract for about 6 months, 7 months. Put it in the contract. They're bringing it up already. They're talking about how they're going to improve the lash, improve the stadium, and it's all in his contract. Like they're going to do this ASAP.
Like the details of how they will do it are in there.
Like figure it the fuck out. It's not that hard. Like, and plus you have so many goddamn sponsors between Jersey Mike's, RWJ, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You just slap a fucking sponsor on it. There's half your money covered.
Yeah, and Rutgers has never, I mean, while there are a bunch of hit pieces out in New Jersey about Rutgers finances, I don't think Rutgers has ever been in a better situation financially in terms of their athletic department than they are right now, given like they're in the Big Ten. They have a full share of revenue at this point. They're about to get a new TV deal in a couple of years, which is going to, skyrocket our revenues. So, I mean, we're not going to ever make the majority of our revenue through ticket sales. I think we should kind of just like put that aside. Like it's a nice to have, but the majority of our money as an athletic department comes from TV deals.
Yeah, like, which is going to be huge for this next one. And that's why, honestly, at the end of the day, I know fans don't want to hear it. Root for Michigan to win it all. Just do it. Root for them.
Yep.
Put on your fucking little Go Blue hat and just fucking just root for them. Because then it all trickle downs. Like it all trickle downs to every school. Doesn't matter how much you're getting more than what you were going to get. So just root for them to fucking win. They're not going to. Well, I mean, they might win game one. They're not going to win it all, but you still root for them.
It's a tough fucking slog to get through.
And now
both
you got
Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying, like the Daily Record, I don't know if people saw that. They put out a little hit piece the other day. Rutgers football averages less than 30,000 fans per game, despite wanting a $150 million training complex. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you have to invest in order to be good. End of story. Athletics accounts for what? 2% of this university's budget? Fucking kidding me? Like, no,
I don't know if you remember, but after 2006, they did like a bunch of reporting about like how much admissions have like gone up since then, like in terms of like applications. Like applications like doubled after that year. That means you can get twice as good of a candidate on average coming to the school, which raises our academic profile, which raises everything. It's like a rising tide carries all ships. Everything at the university is better when we have good athletics.
And then the funny part is, to me, is like the more and more I look into it, someone sent me a bunch of them yesterday. You know how like the Star Ledger does like letters to the editor and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
Some dickhead sent the same thing. It's like, when out the season's over, like, isn't it a shame Rutgers spends so much money? And it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. If they were in a bowl game, you wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
It's I don't get like people's thinking like athletics sucks. All academics. Like, no, that's not how it works anymore. Which one's funding most of your money? It's athletics.
Yeah.
It costs like 2% of the budget. Like, shut up.
I think they just like, they have this like nostalgia for the days when, they would fucking play like Lafayette and like 1,000 people would attend. And it was like, it was a thing to do, but not like the thing to do on campus because it doesn't suit their interests. Like,
one of my most like viewed videos on our YouTube page is like, it was funny because I was cracking up in the little public seating section when Shiano's contract was getting like discussed between like all the board of governors.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just one guy goes up there and just refused to sit down.
Oh,
I recorded him. I'm sitting there like holding my keep going, like keep it going. And they're like, sir, you have to sit down. Security came and like was trying to like pull him away. It was hilarious.
Oh my God.
One of my most favorite videos ever. And one of the most viewed videos ever too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. People are
so I did want to circle back to the transfer portal a bit. So they've been primarily focusing on wide receivers and offensive line, which is kind of what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
A little surprised though, they haven't actually offered any receivers yet. Do you know if there's any reason for that? Because clearly they need at least one. Ideally, they need probably 2 or 3. Like there's been some really good receivers that have come out and some that have ties to Rutgers.
Yeah.
Do you know what the deal is with any of that?
The more I keep looking into it, that they're going to offer people, and not every kid's like a prima donna. And I hate to say this, but is going to tweet out these offers. Like they're getting offers probably, but they're not going to be like, oh, let's do this whole thing again where, oh, thank you so much to Coach so-and-so for sending me an offer. I appreciate it. It's like, all right, dude, we get it. Like, we get it. You're a D1 athlete. Like, you're moving up, whatever. But, yeah, some guys, like, I'm looking at the list right now of guys that Rutgers has followed so far. Jaden Blue, we talked about. I don't know what's going on there. I got to actually reach out to him again. Joshua Moore's been very quiet. Micah Pittman's probably not coming here.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not.
Tyrese Chambers is going elsewhere. He just took an official to Arizona State last weekend. Herm Edwards they might clean up a little bit. I think Herm Edwards is going to surprise people in the Pac-12 now that Oregon's kind of shit in the bed. Tavion Robinson's hearing from everybody right now. He's supposed to visit Penn State soon. The other ones I'm not so sure of. Seven McGee, I know he's a New York native, but I don't think he was ever that good. I think he's a little on the smaller side too, if I recall.
It's like 5'9", 180-ish.
It's generous 5'9". Yeah, so I mean, they definitely need one, but Shameem Jones announced he's coming back. That's a huge one. I do think he could step up as a number one guy. But at the end of the day, it's all about protecting up front. If you could protect Gavin, then we could talk about receivers. But until then, I don't think it matters who's playing receiver. Is Cruikshank going to be 100% healthy? Maybe not. So Youngblood probably steps up. Sanders, you'd think would step up. I know they're very, very high on Brandon Sanders, and I do think he'll probably be put on scholarship for his last season. Add that to the 85 total, and you're fucking everything up again.
Yeah.
I do think you're going to still see a mass exodus in the offensive line too. There's about like 9 people I could see that aren't going to play at all during their Rutgers career. So it's kind of like just
did the exit meetings for the team happen already?
I haven't talked to anyone in the past couple of days, so I don't think so. I think that most of them are still on campus. I think the finals next week, something like that.
Okay.
I think they're letting them get through that, and then they're gonna kind of talk to them afterwards and be like, "All right, like, hey, like, let's figure it the fuck out. You're not gonna play. Get out."
So could their hesitancy to offer people be because they're trying to button up their recruiting class, and then they'll go full bore into the transfer portal?
They're on the road quite a bit. I know some staffs just aren't a fan of the portal in general. I don't blame them. I think it's kind of annoying. It makes me do more work too, so it kind of sucks. But
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing their due diligence. I think you'll see probably 1 or 2 transfers visit this weekend again. I'm not sure who. We didn't find out about Willie Tyler, Miles Frazier, and Reader until I want to say Wednesday last week, whatever it was. So it's more of a wait and see what happens. I'm sure they'll get someone on campus this weekend. This weekend's supposed to be all commits. So if someone that isn't committed is visiting this weekend, I'd probably keep a very, very close eye on it. It could mean a commitment is imminent, a flip is imminent, a transfer is imminent, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be interesting to watch. They're also limited on scholarships. It's not like you can really do much. I know people have been DMing me asking like, "Oh no, they need 2 or 3 receivers." It's like, I don't know if they have room for more than one. Like,
yeah, I think it's all going to depend on how much processing they can do.
So that's the big thing. I think they're 6 scholarships over currently. I forget what it was, the exact number. They're definitely over in the scholarship limit in terms of adding freshmen. And then if you're going to flip someone, then you're just going to add to that number. You got to add an offensive lineman. That's number 1. Linebacker, it sounds like they really want an experienced guy. So that's number 2. And I think receiver is probably 3rd in priority orders. So it's like, go from there and then add 3 more scholarships to the fact you're already over 7 over. If you flip someone 8 over, you flip someone else, or you take Igbenos 9 over, or maybe a Gould or whatever. And then it's like, all right, now we got to cut back down again.
Let's not get too crazy.
I'm just saying.
Gould?
No, I don't think so.
It's not for me.
I think he's, and to put it in the nicest way possible, he's not Big Ten good. That is the nicest way I could put it.
I feel for the kid. I mean, he had such a crazy start to his high school career, and then he got hurt a lot.
Yeah, and people are going to bring up the Missouri offer he got. And from what I was told from our Missouri guys, Missouri staff is basically throwing shit at a wall, just seeing whatever sticks. And it's like, oh, hey, you, Tiger. It's like, no. But yeah, they're trying to get people to just come visit and try to get someone on campus. He's a little slower. He doesn't have a position at the next level. The 2 ACL injuries is the big killer. It's like 1, all right, recover, get better, 100%, maybe we're good. 2, I feel your pain because I'm right there with you, and I've had 2, but it's you'll never get your athleticism back.
You tore your ACL twice?
That hurts me to say. Like it is. Yeah. I've torn both. I've torn my left and my right within like a 2.5 year span too. Don't play basketball. Not fun.
That's rough, man.
So I mean, you'll never get like I'm just speaking from experience. Like I used to be able to like dunk a tennis ball and touch rim, and now I'm like I could maybe touch like the top of like the net and rim, like right here, and it's like, oh yeah, I got it. Like like nowhere near the same. It's just you lose speed, you lose everything. It sucks, but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't see him coming either. We'll see.
All right. Well, it's going to be an exciting time after signing day. We're planning to do a signing day episode next week. On signing day, we kind of just go over all the people in the class,
Yeah,
how things kind of shook out, and then kind of focus on the portal after that point in terms of recruiting.
Thinking, what are we thinking? We thinking we're gonna get like Alex or Ryan on the pod next week?
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Get one of them to talk a little Rutgers. I know Ryan's been double duty and doing just about everything between covering high school football games, high school wrestling, I think he's doing now. And then obviously he's been to every single fucking Friday night game there was in New Jersey this year. So
yeah, he's busting his ass.
Yeah, I give him credit.
Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah. So we'll do something like that. We'll figure that out, but
for sure. So now for this next segment, we have the front office's Pat Lawless coming to join us to talk a little bit about the Rutgers Seton Hall banquet this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Can't wait to talk to Pat about Rutgers and Rutgers struggles, Rutgers maybe turnaround. Who knows? He sounds like he might be a little optimistic based on talking to him.
Yeah, we'll see. Now joining us is Pat Lawless. All right, guys. Now we have joining us from the front office, Pat Lawless. Pat, thanks for joining us. This is a big week for New Jersey hoops, and you guys are kind of right at the precipice of that this year.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we're excited. I appreciate you guys having me on. Super excited that the game is back this year. Yeah, ready to talk Jersey hoops, baby. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. So let's hear a little bit about the front office first off. You guys, you're a collective of friends how'd you guys get into this business, this industry? What are you guys trying to build with the front office? Just talk a little bit about your guys' business.
For sure. Yeah. So I've been working in basketball since I was around 16 or 17, just doing high school hoops. I've been obviously a Jersey guy and have a ton of friends, as you guys know, there's plenty of very passionate New Jersey basketball fans out there. So a couple of my friends, wanted to get involved in that scene. So we decided to form, a little podcast, get a Rutgers take on things, get a Seton Hall take on things, and just get a New Jersey basketball take on things. So we put that together. We've been doing it for about a year and a half, 2 years now, interviewing, from both sides, outside of even Seton Hall, Rutgers, from, Dukes of the world and, Florida or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of honestly how it started, just me bringing my basketball experience and involving these guys and giving them some love and some exposure and creating something, cool as to a podcast. And now it's evolved into running events, which I'm sure we'll get into, but yeah, that's pretty much everything.
All right, Pat. So we know you're pretty familiar with New Jersey basketball. Talk about this Rutgers season. We know it's not pretty.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not pretty. Yeah, listen, like I have a ton of friends that graduated from Rutgers, that go to Rutgers, and they're down in the dumps right now. But I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit, let the season develop. I also think, when it comes to Rutgers Seton Hall specifically, I don't think anything matters that happens before that game. I'll say that, right? Like, it's a rivalry game.
Of course.
Like, they're gonna. I truly believe that game, and you can clip this and use this against me down the line. But I truly believe that this game is going to be a down to the wire game. I just don't see Rutgers showing up to the Prudential Center not ready. So I think, yeah, like the Rutgers fans have reason to be upset for sure. There's no doubt about it. But I will say that I think come Sunday, I think the Scarlet Knights will come ready.
Now do you think that my bad, Mike, you want to go?
No, you go ahead.
All right, so
you're probably going to ask the same question I got.
Now, I know you kind of said like you're going to pump the brakes a little bit in terms of Rutgers, but can they fix this, you think, still this season? Is it too early, too late, kind of? 4-4, it's not a good look, some bad losses.
Yeah, I think so. I listen, like they're playing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like what their guard play specifically is just out of character. Mm-hmm. This isn't like something that we've really seen from these guys prior, right? Maybe in glimpses, but not a consistent basis like this. So I think they're just in a real slump right now. And I just don't see, and, and seeing them in practice and before the season, just last year, this isn't them, right? So I do think that they put themselves in a real hole here, and they're making it very difficult on themselves. But I do think that there's potential to move on. Yeah, I do think there's a way to resolve. But man, they're making it difficult on themselves. And who knows, right? Like a win against Seton Hall could really change the momentum and turn things around. Like, man, that Clemson win, you thought that was the I don't know, maybe the win to really change things up, and then the next game it just back to normal. So I don't know, but I think this Sunday, and we'll obviously see what happens with Purdue, but with this Sunday, we'll tell a lot. I really believe that.
Yeah, it seems like so Pike had a press conference today. That's what Richie was covering prior to this, and I guess there's a flu bug spreading through the team, and between that and we play number 1 Purdue, like you kind of alluded to, on Thursday night. Seton Hall also has a huge game Thursday night too against number 7 Texas. They need to get things right in a hurry. And I mean, they got 2 really tough games. They probably need to win at least 1 or 2 to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. But I agree. I think they're not going to come into the Prudential Center unprepared. Speaking of the Prudential Center, though, did you guys see that they're not opening the upper decks for that game? But they're opening it for like everything else.
I knew.
What's up with that?
I knew this was coming. I got no comment, but no, listen, I think, I saw that it's crazy how like Twitter, like Rutgers Seton Hall Twitter is blowing up over it. Like there's been some viral tweets back and forth. Like I can tell you this, both athletic programs, administrations are very aware of what's going on social media right now. There's no doubt about it. It's blown up. It's crazy.
It just makes no goddamn sense. Like you think, I get it. Like you're not going to want to invite someone into your house that's just going to piss you off 24/7, but you're going to make more money if you're Seton Hall.
They're also advertising like tons of other games that they're selling out, like the upper decks and the full stadium for certain games. And it's not a good look. It really isn't. It shows you're scared to have like an even amount of fans at the game, in my opinion. But
well, that's
Rutgers Twitter is upset, very upset. Rutgers
That's
Twitter
an understatement.
Is a passionate fan base. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, didn't they just open it up? They said they announced they're going to open up for UConn or something.
Yeah.
And it's like UConn's not traveling that far, maybe a little bit, but come on. Like
Rutgers, I mean, UConn's fan base does travel. They do travel, but yeah, they do. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I know. Either way, I guess sell out. I think it would have. They would have packed the place either way. but I think. Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere is going to be insane either way.
So now we just talked about it. There's 2 big games. Purdue's going to be at the RAC. Texas is going to be at Prudential this Thursday. Is this like, if both teams lose, does that like hurt this momentum going into this game, you think, at all? I know it's still a rivalry, so probably not, but.
You know what's crazy? I just don't think so, man. I think like it's just one of those games that of course, a win against Purdue and a win against Texas helps. Do I think, and granted, if both teams get absolutely washed and lose by like 30, yeah, okay, like that's different. But I just think that Rutgers Seton Hall, like the game that immediately I think of, I don't know if it was, what was it, the year that Corey Sanders led them to a win. What was that? His
junior year, sophomore year,
something like that. And that team that was a bad Rutgers team, right? What did they finish that year?
Under 500 easily.
They definitely didn't make the tournament.
Yeah, and that was a really good Seton Hall team, right? That Seton Hall team was very, very good. And I just immediately, whenever I think of this rivalry, I immediately think of that game and just being like, wow, literally nothing matters because everyone gets up for that. Like I'm just picturing Peichel warming up the troops, getting them ready, before that game. So it's just like that just keeps replaying in my head, and that just like nothing matters before that happens that game. Once that ball gets tipped, it's go time. So I think, wins would help with that. But I think fans are pretty aware of Purdue is the heavy favorite there, and Texas is going to be a tough beat for Seton Hall as well.
If both teams win, you think they just say, fuck it, open up the top?
I don't think they can at this point,
We're just going to keep going back to this. We're just going to keep
inviting homeless people to sit at the top deck.
Beat number 1, beat number 7. Fuck it. Open it up. I don't care anymore.
I want to kind of talk to you about your guys' events, though. So you guys hosted the front office invitational earlier this year. That was an AAU tournament, I believe, or was that a high school tournament?
It was a high school fall event. Yep.
So what made you guys want to get into the event hosting space, and what did you guys learn from hosting that event that kind of you were surprised by, I guess?
Yeah. So I've been running events and been involved in events for quite some time now. I work for a company called RHoops, which is knee deep in the grassroots event running space. Worked for Hoop Group for a while. So I have a lot of that background, a lot of that experience to use. I've also been running an event, the Empire Invitational out of New York City, for about we're on year 6 now. I probably should know that myself. It's my event, but year 6. So yeah, just using all that experience and just putting it under now the front office umbrella was just pretty organic. So yeah, like just putting that together, and we really wanted, for the fall event, we wanted to have a really, really cool New Jersey fall event to get the best talent in this area to give like a season warm up. And I think we accomplished that. I think we really provided a cool environment. So yeah, no, like events is an experiential, just all that arm of us is a huge passion of all of ours. And we're excited to kind of bring that experience to the banquet. Yeah.
So tell us about some of these guests. You got some big names coming between Rutgers, Seton Hall, even CBS's John Rothstein coming.
Yeah, man, we're honestly, it's crazy like how it's all come together. It was like a small idea that we had. We're like, man, that would be cool if, like, I don't know why this doesn't exist. And then we're just like slowly but surely, we're like, well, like, you know what, let's call John Rothstein and like, let's see if you'd be interested. And John's like, cool, like, here's my agent's number. And then like we called his agent, and you know what I mean? It just slowly but surely put the pieces together. And like we made it happen. And it's just really cool. And I think it's one of those rivalries where both I mean, we're seeing it on Twitter literally about this Upper Deck stuff, but like it's just both fan bases are so crazy and so passionate that something like this needed to exist. Something like this needed to happen around the game. And yeah, so John's gonna speak on it. We're having Jerry Carino there. We're having guys like Phil Sellers. We were just at Phil Sellers' house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Promoting the event. Like, he's juiced up, was decked out of Rutgers gear. Like he's so excited. He's like, come on, Rutgers. He was cheering him on. And then, yeah, like guys like Isaiah Whitehead's going to be zooming in. Terry DeHeer from the Seton Hall side of things. Quincy Doobie is back. He's going to be at the game. So man, like we wanted to make sure if we were going to do this, we had to do it right, get the right guys that Rutgers fans would get up for, which are the Phil Sellers of the world, which are the Quincy Doobies of the world. So yeah, man, we're thrilled about it.
Yeah, this is one of the cooler events as a Rutgers fan I can remember having going on. So I hope everyone who can make it out on Friday. It's going to be at Mama Vittoria in Nutley. Yep. So that starts at 7, right? And tickets are still available. I think Richie, you had a 50% off link on the boards as well. We're going to post that in the episode description as well. But this event sounds awesome, dude. Great job getting everyone together. I did want to talk to you a little bit about connections aren't necessarily easy to make in this industry. And you guys have gone from, nothing 2 years ago to like getting hour-long interviews with Pike at the Rodkin Center. You're interviewing basically every top recruit in the area on lives and on your Instagram. Talk a little bit about how you developed those relationships and how you guys have gone and gotten some great access so quickly.
Yeah, man, just being persistent, following up like lots of follow-ups. Yeah, man, and putting out content and like that people enjoy. So when we're talking to Steve, we're showing him our past work, right? We're showing him our capabilities, so he knows that we're walking into his office. We're not going to ask some insane question that's just completely inappropriate to ask or something, right? We're showing him our track record. We're showing him what we've done in the past. So yeah, it's just honestly just like step by step, slowly but surely getting to a place where enough people trust you to do an Instagram live, do an interview in somebody's office, things like that. So yeah, man, it's been a process, but slowly but surely getting there. Yeah.
Are you guys looking to be building more of a national brand over the coming years, or you guys think you'll stick regional?
I like the one thing is we don't want to be, if we were to go too national, I think that it would kind of dilute the product a little bit. I really want to focus and hone in on, and we really want to do the Seton Hall Seton Hall Rutgers banquet every single year. We want to blow that up and we want to make it bigger and bigger, right? So if we were to focus nationally, and I think we would lose a little bit of that. So of course we want to tap into different markets. We want to tap into different audiences. Like that's of course like always going to be a focus of ours, but we do want to make sure that our base and the people that pay attention to our stuff and the people that are attending our events are always going to be engaged with us. So yeah, we're definitely looking into other things, but we want to make sure our Rutgers and our Seton Hall base, our New Jersey basketball base is always engaged. So that's right now the focal point for us.
So now you guys are selling tickets for general admission, and you still have VIP available or no?
Yep.
All right. So what's the difference? Like give the fans, I guess, a little clips of what they get with the VIP package.
For sure. Yeah. So VIP, you get front row seating. So you're right there in front of the John Rothsteins of the world. You're right there in front of, Phil Sellers. You have the best seat in the house. You're right there. And then you also get guaranteed photo after the event, after their panel with the panelists. So awesome. You'll get guaranteed a photo with John Rothstein. You get guaranteed a photo with Phil Sellers, Quincy Doobie. We're also doing a raffle where we're raffling off 2 front row tickets to the game.
Nice.
Awesome. And with that access, you'll have more raffle tickets available to you that you'll be able to put in. So yeah, we made sure that the VIP members are being treated like VIP members. So yeah, that's that. And then GA, you still obviously get raffle access, and you can also buy a photo package if you're still interested in taking photos with the guests. It's just not incorporated within the general admission package. And then yeah, that's pretty much everything. Yeah.
Nice. So now, stupid question. You guys will be at the game, I'm assuming, right?
Oh yeah.
Front row, like right next to those people that are getting those free seats, or?
No, man, that's how dedicated we are. We're letting the fans have the front row. We're letting that happen. Yeah. So no, we'll be there, but we're not going to be front row guys.
So like, are you guys like in each other's student sections? Like one guy's on this side with Rutgers, one guy's on this side with Seton Hall.
I don't. Yeah, maybe that might be a good content idea.
There you go. Just go throughout do some bing bong type stuff and just go back and forth.
I know. That's a good idea.
You did have a quick thing about Quincy Doobie I wanted to ask you about. Can you imagine how sought after he'd be as an NBA prospect if he was coming out today versus 15 years ago? Like how the game's evolved to like his stylings. Like, yeah, like he'd be compared to like Steph Curry if he was coming out today. Not that he's that good, but that would be like the profile. Quincy Doobie.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. You're right. I know. Quincy, oh my God. Quincy would pull up from the R. Like you would pull up. Oh my gosh. That's like the childhood memories that like when we first called him to see if he was interested, like it was just like all the memories of like 7-year-old me or whatever, just fanboying, like watching him on TV, just seeing like him pull up from like literally the logo. Quincy was unbelievable back in the day. Unbelievable.
I think he's probably my favorite Rutgers athlete of all time.
Really?
Of my lifetime, yeah.
He was Jimmer before Jimmer.
That's unbelievable.
If he had even one tournament, like little run in the tournament, I feel like people would be talking about him so much more. And it's just
did Quincy left after his junior year? Would he have passed Sellers? Probably, right?
Probably, I think so. If not, it would have been very, very close. If not,
right?
Yeah, but he probably would have. I think.
Yeah,
but of course, I mean, top 10, top 12 pick, whatever it was, you can't really say no.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And he's going to drop 70 points in China next year. It's like
a great overseas career. Had a really, really good overseas career.
Yeah, ton of money. He just retired like what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he's living in Miami now. I think he's going back to school. Yeah, Quincy's like the nicest guy ever.
So now all these guys are going to be at the game too, I would assume, right? Or I'm sure you've talked to him.
Yep. So I spoke to Phil yesterday. He's going to be there. Quincy lives in Miami. He's flying out for this game. He was like, awesome. It worked out. Like when we called him, he's like, oh no, I was already planning on coming to the game. Was planning on going to the Seton Hall game. So that's something he had marked off on his calendar. So he'll be there. Phil will be there. Obviously Austin Johnson's the radio personality, so he'll be there. Yeah. So like, yeah, there's gonna be some big alumni.
Yeah, I mean, sounds awesome.
So for those two panels you guys have, is it going to be, do you guys have like basically a script for what they're going to talk about, or is it going to be fan questions, or a little bit of both?
So we'll have some fan questions. We're going to open up to the fans. Hopefully not too much trash talk from the fans. That's something that we're considering. But yeah, no, it's we'll have fans for like the last 20 minutes of the panel. And then John Fanta, who works for Fox Sports, does an unbelievable job. Is going to just basically conduct the interviews, make sure he's touching base with each of the members of the panel, and just, conduct the flow of things.
Yeah, I'm not sure many Big Ten or Rutgers fans know John, but John's phenomenal, man.
Unbelievable.
He is legit.
He's really, really good. He's hilarious.
And that's the best part, is he makes all kinds of jokes left and right. It's hilarious, but
so funny. Yeah. No, he's great. So yeah, no, he's gonna be like and he has so much experience with Fox, and just really, he's a Seton Hall grad, so he gets it, right? We didn't want anybody to just come in here and cool, he's a good radio host, cool, he's good on camera, whatever. We wanted somebody that was a part of like this experience, part of the rivalry. So yeah.
Makes sense. That's all I got. You got anything else, Mike?
No, Pat, is there anything else you wanted to say before we sign off here?
Come through the banquet. I hope that if you guys are interested in coming, let me know. It's, obviously we would have you just covering the event, right? It wouldn't be, we wouldn't charge. So you let me know, but yeah, guys.
I mean, I didn't want the free dinner, but whatever.
Yeah, good. Listen, we'll figure it out.
I'm just kidding.
Open bar too, but
never mind. I'm in.
Oh shit. Changes things.
But yeah, I think like I'm excited, first year running this thing. Super excited to just see those alumni come back and engage with the fan bases in like a really, really fun way. Right. Yeah. So this is the first of hopefully many, and hope to see you guys there. And yeah, get that promo code link from Rich and Mike. And
there you go. So we got it on our site. Obviously, you guys have your Instagram account. I think you just started a Twitter account too. Where else can they find you guys and figure out find your content, find out where to buy tickets and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. The website is thefrontoffice.me. That'll include all the ticket links, everything that all information on the event that you might not know about. And then yeah, for Instagram, it's @tfrontoffice. For Twitter, it's @tfrontoffice. We do interviews with Rutgers side of things, with Seton Hall side of things outside of that. So yeah, that's where you can find us.
Awesome. And then what is it going to be? The front office side talk, New York, New Jersey? Is that what we're going to do now? Or
maybe that might be
good idea. Hear me out. If we just put you in one student section, put CJ in another, and just boom.
I think you're onto something. I think that's a really good idea. I know.
Yeah. I know what I'm talking about.
We might hire you by the end of this. Honestly, you keep going. You might be part of
this.
Yeah, let's turn into an interview fast.
Front office logo right there. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Richie. Thanks, Pat, from the front office for coming on. Hope to see you guys at that event on Friday. It sounds awesome. I hope they keep doing it every year, and I hope it goes really well, Pat. And we will see you guys next time. This has been the Night Report podcast. We are out.